Tyler Perry just put his Montecito mansion on the market, and the word is he is done playing nice. Millions loaned to Harry and Meghan, ignored calls, and a living agreement with very serious terms. The man who once protected them is now a creditor demanding his money back. If those secret recordings ever come out, the Sussex brand is finished. This is the nightmare they never saw coming. Stay tuned. Good evening and welcome to Royal Daily Report, where we cut through the glamour and get to the raw truth. Tonight we dive into the growing storm. Tyler Perry's alleged ultimatum to Harry and Meghan, pay up or face court, and the whispers of a vault full of recordings that could completely rewrite their entire story. If you are new here or love unfiltered royal drama, hit subscribe right now, turn on notifications, and join the Royal Daily Report family. Let us break it all down. So you know how Harry and Meghan left the UK saying they wanted privacy and a fresh start. Well, it turns out their Hollywood fairy tale might be turning into a real nightmare. This whole time they have been leaning heavily on Tyler Perry. Private jets, a mansion, full security, the whole package. But here is the thing. There is no such thing as a free lunch, especially not in Los Angeles. And it looks like Harry is about to find that out the hard way. The whispers have been going around for a while now. Money drying up, deals not working out the way they planned. But now it is all coming out into the open. The big news is that Tyler Perry has put his Montecito mansion on the market, which is interesting on its own. But the really important part is what is allegedly happening behind the scenes with Harry and Meghan. Word from credible Hollywood insiders is that Tyler Perry has basically given them an ultimatum. Pay back a loan or he is taking them to court. And we are not talking about a small amount here. We are talking about millions of dollars. Millions that supposedly helped them cover the cost when they bought their Montecito dream home. Let us go back a little. Remember back in 2020 when Harry and Meghan left the UK, spent a short time in Canada, and then moved to the United States. They were talking about security threats, needing a fresh start, and wanting a new life. While Tyler Perry stepped in and helped them out. He gave them access to his Beverly Hills home, provided security, and took care of them. At the time, everyone said how generous that was. But here is where it gets really interesting. That generosity apparently did not stop with just letting them stay at his place. The story goes that it grew into a serious financial arrangement. Tyler Perry allegedly loaned them a large sum of money to help with the down payment on their Montecito home. And here is the thing. It was all done informally. No public contracts, no signed agreements in the news. Just a friendly deal between people who trusted each other. But here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. You do not loan millions of dollars to people who are truly financially independent. You loan it to people who need it. And that is the uncomfortable reality hanging over this whole situation. It suggests that Harry and Meghan were not quite as financially stable as they were presenting themselves to be. And when the repayments started slowing down and then stopped completely, that is when the real trouble began. Think about it this way. Tyler Perry is a billionaire. He does not need the money back to survive. So why would he threaten legal action? Because it is not about the money. It is about the principle. It is about respect. When you borrow that kind of money from someone, especially without a formal contract, the least you can do is stay in communication. And the reports are saying that communication completely broke down. Ignored calls, unanswered messages, total silence. That is when the relationship changes. That is when Tyler Perry, once a generous friend and protector, becomes a creditor. And that is when you start hearing talk about court. It was not a sudden thing. It was a slow breakdown caused by silence and a feeling of being disrespected. And nobody wants to be taken advantage of. Especially not by people who present themselves as self-made and completely independent. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report right now and hit that like button to keep up with this developing story. So why the payment problems? Well, those Netflix and Spotify deals were not bringing in money the way everyone expected. Sure, they signed the big contracts. But contracts are not the same as cash coming in every month. The Spotify deal reportedly ended early. Netflix saw an initial spike in viewers and then a big drop-off. The Sussex brand sold attention, not long-term success. And when those millions do not come in as expected, things get very tight, especially when you are carrying a massive home loan, paying very high property taxes, and covering the full cost of round-the-clock security every single day. And here is the really important part. After they left the royal family, there was no safety net waiting for them. No money from the Duchy of Cornwall. No quiet financial support from the palace. No emergency help from the royal family. When things started going wrong, King Charles shut off the financial tap. William closed ranks. Whatever sympathy existed burned away after the Oprah interview, the book Spare, and everything else that followed. And that is a massive deal. Because when you publicly go against the institution you came from, you cannot quietly call them up later when you are short on money. By 2024, Harry and Meghan were completely on their own. No palace to fall back on. No quiet help from anyone. Nobody willing to put themselves on the line for them. So when the Hollywood money started drying up, there was nobody there to catch them. That is why Tyler Perry demanding repayment became such a huge deal. Where else were they going to go? And here is something very important to understand. Tyler Perry threatening court is not just about hurt feelings. It is about something called discovery. If he takes them to court, everything comes out. Bank records, loan agreements, emails, text messages, tax returns, all of it. And if one private loan surfaces in court, all the others surface too. Every informal deal, every temporary financial fix, every promise tied to some future project. It is not just about the mansion anymore. It is about whether their whole story of being independent and self-sufficient can survive being looked at closely in a courtroom. Once a legal discovery process starts, there is nowhere to hide. No public relations team can spin their way out of it. No carefully planned silence can protect them. That Montecito house worth around $14 million becomes evidence, a major asset with a giant question mark hanging over it. That is why this is more than just a lawsuit threat. It is a direct threat to their entire public image and narrative. And have you noticed something? No denial from Harry or Meghan. No clear public statement. No documents released to shut this story down. Just complete silence. And in financial disputes, silence is not a sign of confidence. It is a sign of calculation and worry. Sources say they are scrambling behind the scenes, looking at their assets, jewelry, inheritance money, residual payments from old projects, anything they can potentially sell or use. When money is tight and court is getting closer, being able to access cash quickly becomes a matter of survival. Hollywood is watching closely too. All the other people who allegedly lent them money are watching. Because if Tyler Perry is willing to go public and push forward, nobody wants to be the last person quietly waiting for repayment. That is how financial situations collapse. One person breaks the silence and everyone else follows. And it does not stop with their personal finances. The problems also bleed into Arcuel, their charitable foundation. Expenses reportedly went past $5 million. Donations dropped to around $2 million. Staff was cut. The IRS started paying attention. Notices about late payments came up before being resolved. But resolved does not mean forgotten. Financial audits do not care about your brand or your image. They only care about the numbers. And insiders are claiming there were blurry lines between personal lifestyle costs and foundation expenses. When auditors start looking closely, accounts get frozen. When accounts get frozen, lenders start to panic. That is not just speculation. That is simply how finance works. So when Arcuel's money flows slowed down, everything started falling like dominoes. Streaming money underperformed. The foundation ran into trouble. Private lenders waited for repayment. Silence from Harry and Meghan grew louder. That is why Tyler Perry speaking publicly was not random or accidental. It was about timing. When money dries up from every direction at once, someone always breaks the silence first. And once one lender steps forward, all the others start counting what they are owed. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Royal Daily Report so you never miss an update. That Montecito mansion might look peaceful and beautiful from the outside. The gardens are still blooming. The ocean is still sparkling in the distance. The gates are still closed behind expensive cars. But houses do not care about appearances. They remember every number. Every unpaid dollar is part of their story. Every favor that became an obligation stays in the silence of those rooms. Every ignored reminder gets louder as time passes. That house was supposed to represent freedom, a fresh start, a new life away from the pressures of royal duty. Instead, it became proof that their freedom was borrowed. And borrowed things always come with terms and conditions attached. Tyler Perry did not destroy their dream. He simply exposed the real cost of it. Independence built on loans is not actually independence. It is just a delay. And delays always end the same way. With a reckoning. The clock is ticking. The lenders are watching. And whether this ends in court, in forced sales, or in quiet settlements behind closed doors, one thing is absolutely clear. That Montecito mansion was never the beginning of their freedom. It was the receipt for everything they owed. And this story is not over. It has just stopped pretending. That is our full report tonight on Royal Daily Report. What do you think? Is Tyler Perry about to drop the hammer, or will Harry and Meghan find a way out before it gets to court? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this story hit hard, subscribe now to Royal Daily Report. Hit the bell for notifications, like this video, and share it with anyone following the real Sussex story. We will keep tracking every development and bring you the next update as it breaks. Thanks for watching. Stay informed. Stay critical. Royal Daily Report signing off. See you next time.